What's up, everybody? It's me, Emily here with a brand new challenge series. One day while I was playing Pokemon Go, I kind of wondered why I even still play it. Excluding raids, the Pokemon available, they don't really feel like they're worth getting. So I know I like Karen and the Elite Four down. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to learn VGC, so I need all the help I can get here. So I asked myself, is it even possible to build a viable team in Pokemon Go, and can that team be brought to like the highest rank, like the Master Ball tier? Can I get these Pokemon to go to the top? So I set out, caught some Pokemon, built the team in game, I jumped on the ladder. Let's see how it goes. Alright, so into game 1, and team preview, which I forgot to record, my opponent had several flying type Pokemon, so there was like 3 Genies, and I figured Tyranitar and Lycanroc would be a fantastic lead. I might be able to get some Sandrush Rock Slides off. However, since they led Iron Hands and Landorus, I didn't really feel safe with my Lycanroc in there. I didn't want to get hit with like a Fake Out Earthquake, something like that. So switch an Arcanine, get some Intimidate, mitigate some of the incoming damage, and I think I went for Protect with my Tyranitar just in the event that Fake Out ended up going to that slot. So my opponent decides turn 1 just to go for the Terrassalization, Terra their Iron Hands into Grass type, which now kind of feels better with my team because I've got Terra Flying on my Tyranitar, I've got Fire type Flare Blitz, Will-O-Wisp, stuff like that on my Arcanine, but unfortunately, we have an Earthquake coming our way, and there's no chance an Arcanine's living that. So Arcanine goes down. Kind of feels like it just went out, but now I feel like I'm in better positioning with my Lycanroc. There's no concern for Fake Out, and they actually didn't even go for Fake Out this turn. They went for Wild Charge, so kind of unfortunate, but I figured now it's my turn. I'm going to Terrasilize, so Terra Flying on Tyranitar. I'm going to be immune to that, most likely Scarf Landorus' Earthquakes, but we see my Lycanroc even out speeds, which is really nice. So maybe hoping for a flinch. I don't really remember what my goal was there. But they go for Earthquake. Does massive damage to my Lycanroc, but lives on 1. And they actually crit themselves, which is really unfortunate. But that looks like it's Terra Blast range to me. So I don't think the crit mattered. But just look at this thing of beauty right here. So my Tyranitar, Terrifying Tyranitar hits so many Pokemon so well. Like Rillaboom, Terra Grass, Iron Hands, right there, Urshifu, stuff like that. It cleans up. So in comes their Thundurus, which has got Prankster, so I didn't really know what they were going for. I protected my Tyranitar. I don't know if they're going to go for Swagger. I don't know what they're running anymore. So they switched out their Landorus into a Namorous. Like I said, I protect my Tyranitar, and as long as they don't paralyze my Lycanroc or attack it, which they don't, the Thunder Wave my Tyranitar, which is fantastic, because that does absolutely nothing, and I get to fire off a Sweet Endeavor. And now that Thunder's on 1 HP, and that Sand's going to finish it this turn. Speaking of Sand, chips on Amorous, and I do want to take note that I do edit the majority of all the Sand ship, because this is a Sand team that's going to get really old really fast, as well as all the grassy terrain healing. But, again, my Lycanroc is going to outspeed everything on here. We know that it's going to outspeed that Landorus because it has before. And with my Tyranitar being at like -2 now, I really didn't want to just leave it in there. So, figure it's an Incan Gambit and Endeavor the Enamorous. So, at the end of this turn, that Enamorous is going down as Landorus goes for Rock Slide. Unfortunately, misses my Lycanroc, but they go for Dazzling Gleam, which hits the Lycanroc. So, I mean, it's kind of nice because it wasn't it was spread damage on the Kingambit, but it's Assault Vest. This thing's living it anyway. And unfortunately, not really unfortunate, it doesn't really matter, but they faint to Life Orb, so it's not really like my KO. Still a KO, but you know what I mean. So, now they have this Landorus. I'm safe to just go for Assurance, because they're forced to attack and Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch does about, I don't know, 40%, and they go for Rock Slide. Super effective on the Tyranitar, which is kind of weird. But, spoiler alert, there was no flinch, and I get to fire off the Assurance. They actually crit my Kingambit there. I didn't even realize that happened. But 2 little smacks, and that's a dead Landorus. So, game 1 went in my favor. I'm going to be earning some rank points. So now I am rank 5. So on to my next opponent. They have another team that did not like Rock Slide. So this lead, you're going to get used to seeing it, is going to be the Tyranitar and Lycanroc yet again. Seeing Galarian, Moltres, and Tornadus, I'm expecting them to go for like Tailwind, Fiery Wrath, something along the lines of that. But they actually go for Rain Dance, which is really smart. It actually denies the Sand Rush, but Lycanroc still outspeeding. Gets the Rock Slide, lands on both of them, which is excellent. Moltres is Berserk Activate, which is kind of scary. And they have Citrus Berry, so they're going to restore to like about 75%, I think. And I think they go for a Nasty Plot, so they got pretty greedy. And they might regret this because I just double Rock Slided. Tyranitar fires off, no misses, cleans them up real quick. So now I'm at a 4-2 lead here. And they do have weather, but I can just withdraw my Tyranitar, and then weather's in my favor yet again. So they send out Fluttermane and Urshifu. I'm not looking forward to getting Surging Strikes or any sort of Dazzling Gleam. I sent in Garchomp. Figured if Surging Strikes is going anywhere, it's going to be going into the Tyranitar slot. They Terra Fairy the Fluttermane, and yeah, Dazzling Gleam comes out, so there's no chance that Garchomp is taking any sort of the Surging Strikes coming our way, but that's okay. So now I can have Sand Up one more time, and I go for Bulldoze. This way I can get speed control. So honestly, I forgot I did this play, but it's really, really smart. I'm so smart. Proud of me. I actually go for Ice Spinner, which I honestly forgot that, or whoever got that. But Lycanroc goes down, and I get Arcanine in, which doesn't really do too much, and I get my Sand Up. So I feel like this turn, I didn't really know what this speed was, like how it interacted with like Arcanine and Fluttermane and stuff like that. So with Sand Up, I figured I'm going to do it. I'm going to Terrasilize Tyranitar yet again. And I'm going to go for a Terra Blast onto the Urshifu and Extreme Speed into Fluttermane. That damage was pretty sad, honestly. I think next turn I go for Flare Blitz. So let's see. Terra Blast, picks up Urshifu. You guys know how much I don't like Urshifu. So out of nowhere, this Tyranitar, I used to think Tyranitar was okay. I adore this Pokemon now. It is Life Orb, by the way. That's because originally it was supposed to be a like Choice Band set, but I really wanted to be able to protect it. It looks like they might be choiced into Dazzling Gleam, so they have to keep firing off not very effective moves onto my Arcanine. Speaking of Arcanine, Flare Blitz does go off this turn, and we just finish it off. So, Game 2. Looking like another win in our favor. This team is doing fairly well. Hopefully we can keep up the momentum into Game 3. And do we make it into the next tier of the ranking? We do not, but that's okay. That's what the next match is for. Alright, so I get matched up against Danny for Game 3. This team's looking really, really bulky. They've got Grassy Terrain, they got Intimidate, they've got Dondozo, Solo Dozo. But they decided to leave Rillaboom and Sylveon, so kind of scared how Fake Out's coming in. But like I said in previous games, I edited out the Grassy Terrain and the Sand Chip because they would do the same amount of damage. All it would be doing is taking out everyone's time. Now I wanted to break my stash. I decided to switch out Lycanroc. That way, if they do get faked out into that slot, it's going to my King Gambit, which is going to be absolutely no damage. I protected Lycanroc because, again, I don't want to be faked out, and Hyper Voice would have really hurt in that slot. So they do fake out into the King Gambit now, switched in, and they go for Hyper Voice. Honestly, I don't really know what... Like, I know what Sylveon does, but I don't know how to play around it, I guess. So, not feeling like getting Hyper Voiced, I decided to switch out Tyranitar, and then Arcanine, maybe get some Intimidate, try and slow down the damage that this Rillaboom's doing. And let's see what they go for. They actually switch out their Sylveon too, so we're both doing switching outs like crazy. And then in comes the Dondozo, so now my Arcanine really doesn't want to be out. And I decided to Terrasilize my King Gambit. This is like one of the few games where I don't Terrasilize Tyranitar. I really wanted to get a Terra Blast onto the Rillaboom, but I don't know if they called it or what, but they U-turn and in comes Zapdos, who, honestly, this Terra Blast does a lot of damage. Like, Flamethrower essentially, but does like 50% onto a Zapdos, which is kind of insane. They have a Citrus, so they kind of eat back up, so kind of felt like a wasted Terra there. I go for Sucker Punch, just hoping to get some chip in the event that they go for Wave Crash onto King Gambit. They actually set up Tailwind, which is kind of scary. And I go for Rock Slide, hoping maybe I get a flinch or a crit or something. Yeah, I'm just trying to take a name. In comes the Wave Crash onto King Gambit, and yeah, my King Gambit got checkmated by a Dozo. But it's okay. Zapdos also faints. Now that was to the Sand Chip. And now we got this fish just kind of staring at my Arcanine. So they take chip, healing. Yeah, this is a quick little example. This is half of what that, and they also have leftovers. So in comes the Sylveon, and I don't really have much of a choice. I have Tyranitar and Lycanroc. I really want to save Lycanroc for the end. They decide to Terra Fire their Sylveon. I don't know if they know something I don't. They protect the Dondozo to try and get some leftover recovery, as well as probably just protect themselves from incoming damage. Flash Shot comes off just a lot of damage onto Arcanine. Sylveon's pretty strong. Rock Slide obviously doesn't connect with Dozo, and just massive damage to Sylveon. And speaking of Rock Slide doing massive damage to Sylveon, they're probably regretting Trash Slicing their Sylveon to Fire type, but I feel like the double up would have got the knockout, but having Terra saved would have been kind of nice. So they send in the Rillaboom. I don't really have anything that wants to take this fake out. By anything, I mean this Arcanine doesn't want to take the fake out. I don't have Protect on it. I think I go for Will-O-Wisp onto Rillaboom there, but nothing I could have done. Arcanine flinches, and they go for Wave Crash onto Tyranitar, so that could have ended much worse. And Sandstorm actually dissipates, so I don't know why I didn't edit that one out, but okay, Stomping Tantrum comes in. Arcanine goes down, so maybe because everything disappeared, I wanted to show that off. That makes sense. Grassy Terrain no longer weakening the ground type moves. Rock Slide doing decent shit. Now, I think I make a misplay on this turn upcoming. So, Tyranitar goes down. All I have left now is my Lycanroc, right? So, we know I outspeed both these Pokemon. I go for Rock Slide. I think the correct play was, I don't know the calc, but I think it was to go for Close Combat onto Rillaboom or Dozo. No, it was Close Combat onto Rillaboom because Dozo would have taken a lot more damage if I got the knockout from the Wave Crash. I would have lived with the Focus Ash, but I ended up losing. Hopefully that's the last time I'm losing this video, but we'll see. So my next opponent has like what looks like a singles team to me. They've got Articuno, Tyranitar, Magnezone, Gallade, Blissey, and Barraskewda. They led Blissey, Barraskewda. So here, I have my stand up, and I figured they're probably going to go for a water type move, so I'm going to withdraw my Tyranitar and send in Gastrodon to try and absorb any incoming water type move, as well as go for a Rock Slide. I don't think any of these Pokemon are really bulky, so Rock Slide is going to do some big damage. Liquidation does fire off. Gastrodon just drinks it up like it does. And now I'm at +1, which is really great. Blissey goes for a Blizzard. I don't know what this person's thinking with their teammate. Supposed to get Serene Grace. It's trying to do some like weird hacks thing. But, I don't know. Now they know that Storm Drain's a thing. They don't really want to sit in on the Magnezone there, as well as a double out. Just bring Blissey out. I figured I went for my tag moves on this Gastrodon are Ice Beam and Earth Power. I figured Earth Power would do more damage on the Barraskewda, but go with Rock Slide for Lycanroc. Actually missed the Gallade and get a little bit of chip on Magnezone. Nothing substantial and nothing that mattered because Earthquake's just gonna, or Earth Power is gonna go off and finish it like it didn't even exist in the first place. So in comes Blissey yet again. They go for Helping Hand on Gallade, which is kind of scary. Again, since I'm Lycanroc in the sand, I just outspeed everything. Blissey's now down. There goes Blissey. So now there's Barraskewda and Gallade left. And we actually get the flinch, which I don't know what they have, but I didn't know if I was going to live that turn, so I figured I'd deal on that slot. They can't switch out now, so that thing, no matter what, next turn, it's going to be, it's going to sleep. Barraskewda's got nothing that really wants to do anything to my Gastrodon, so I figure I'll just close combat it, try and take it out. Don't want to risk missing, don't want to self-hit with Bulldoze, so that felt like a safe play. I don't know what they go for. They go for Sacred Sword onto Lycanroc, so they do get the knockout, but now I have a +1 Gastrodon and 3 Pokemon in the back against the Gallade, who's just taking a little bit of a nap. Earth Power does a lot of damage, not enough to pick up the knockout, but Tyranitar actually did. He was in the back. He get those points. So game 4, pretty quick, ended up in my favor. Now here's a core that I actually really wanted to try myself. Was like a Tailwind Regidrago kind of team. Current record now I'm 3-1, so feeling pretty good, and they ended up leading the Tailwind Regidrago. So I don't really have a way to stop Tailwind, so Tailwind goes off, but I do have a really fast Lycanroc who can fire off a Rock Slide, get some damage onto the Regidrago, hopefully weaken the Dragon Energies that'd be firing off. But luckily we get the flinch on it, and Tyranitar yet again goes for the Rock Slide. The more I commentate these teams, the more brain dead it kind of feels. Just double click Rock Slide and don't miss. That's my win condition. But Drago now has like what, 15% health, 15%. This fella is a little bit of a problem, the Iron Bundle. But this Drago is doing very little damage at this point, so I'm not really concerned. Hydro Pump fires off. Lycanroc, of course, since it's a beast, lives on 1 HP. So this thing is so fast. It's got boost and the tailwind up. Another rock slide. Just double connects. Such a strong move, honestly. Regidrago's not doing any attacks this turn, and I go for Assurance, not wanting to miss. That just picks up the knockout onto bundle. So they've got 1 mon left. This has just been really fast paced. The extreme speed, pick up the KO onto Lycanroc. I haven't even used my Terry yet, but I don't see a reason to. I'm just safe to go for a Rock Slide. They are actually Life Orb as well, but that's okay because my Life Orb Rock Slide does a lot of damage, enough to pick up the knockout. So very, very fast. Faster than the last one. Let's see how the next one goes. Oh. Almost. I almost made it to the next rank. And on to Gabriel. Alright, let's see how this one goes. With that win, I'm now well into rank 6, so I'm feeling fairly confident about this team. The one I'm fighting now, it's Mouse Ape, Torn, Fluttermane, Grimace, and Goodra, so it's pretty scary. I'm expecting the Mouse Ape lead. I guess wrong, they led Tornadus Annihilate, so I don't really have a way to prevent Tailwind from going off. I decide I'm going to, at this point now, go for a Rock Slide and Terra Blast. I Terrasilize the Tyranitar, hoping to now weaken any incoming fighting type moves onto that slot. As Tailwind goes up, nothing we can do about that. Learned that last game, but that's okay. Rock Slide does go off, connects on Tornadus, but misses the Annihilate, which is kind of unfortunate. So no flinches, unfortunately. Drain Punch connects, does a lot of damage to Lycanroc, obviously Sash being one of the best items in the game, honestly. Unfortunately, Urshifu exists, which kind of nullifies that, but it's okay. We have Terra Blast, and this is what I do to Urshifu. But I just cleanly one-shots it. So, I'll take a Sash to a knocked out Pokemon. Goodra comes in, which is pretty scary, seeing that. I went for Endeavor into that slot. I really wanted to see if I can chunk that thing down. They send in a Grimmsnarl, which is very, very smart play. Trying to just bait me out, I guess. But I kind of forgot that they had Tailwind up and they outspeed me. No miss, so that's unfortunate. Nothing I can do about that. I could have switched it out, but sometimes I just see the opportunity to click Endeavor and I just go for it. Don't miss any of my Rock Slides though, so Tornadus goes down, and now we have Goodra and the Grimmsnarl left. So I send in King Gambit. I didn't even realize that there were shooting stars in the background. Anyway, they Terra Fairy, which I don't know why. Unless they're trying to Terra Blast my King Gambit or something, but I protect Tyranitar. Didn't want to catch a Body Press or whatever. Or I don't know what they'd go for, because it wouldn't be Body Press. I'm probably trying to feel out what they're going for. There's the Body Press and a King Gambit. Now I go for Iron Head and a Grimmsnarl. That way, this isn't any like 2v2s, you know? Now it's just everyone against this Goodra. Trying to save King Gambit to see if I can get maybe some Sucker Punch if I need to, if it's weak, or just trying to mitigate some damage with Arcanine, maybe. Trying to get a Will-O-Wisp, try and chip it down a bit. That way it's in range of other attacks. They go for Protect. So this one kind of feels like we're in for the long haul. I go for a Rock Slide. Obviously, it connects with the Protect, but that's okay. I don't know. I went for Flare Blitz here, really just trying to see how much damage I can do, which it's a respectable amount, but I really don't like getting all this chip. And Rock Slide exists, man. I can just keep clicking Rock Slide. So I do take damage from... Ooh, I get the flinch on it. So now with the flinch, there's no way that they can try and Body Press my Arcanine or heal up. So they forfeit. Nice trainer card. I really like shiny Sweet Arcanine, and look at that. I am now a Great Ball tier battler. So now into my first match in the Great Ball tier. I haven't fought a Palafin in ages. So looking at this team, there's Rillaboom, Palafin, Arcanine, King Gambit, Fluttermane, and Grimmsnarl. So they led the Palafin and Rillaboom. Nothing I can really do to prevent them from going for Fake Out and just hard switching Palafin and out. So I really didn't want to just get Fake Out chipped on Tyranitar. So I figured I'd protect Tyranitar and I'd go for a Bulldoze. That way, if they did try to protect something, I'd be able to get some chip on it with Lycanroc. As well as try and get some speed control. Unfortunately, since King Gambit was the one that came in, it activates its Defiant. Thankfully, it wasn't weakness policy. But, yeah, so Bulldoze comes off. Now we know for a fact my Tyranitar is going to outspeed Rillaboom. Without a doubt, even if it's like max speed, I think at this point it couldn't even outspeed my Tyranitar. So, speed drops go off. Defiant activates, and I feel like I'm in a little bit of trouble. So I feel like I have no choice. I have to try and just terastallize my Tyranitar. Figure I go for a close combat onto the King Gambit. That way, if they don't go for Sucker Punch, I might be able to get the one shot. They protect it, so that's okay. I figure I just go for it next turn. Why not, right? And then, since I have speed, Terra Blast just picks up this Rillaboom like it's nothing. So, again, this will be talking about how powerful this Terra Blast is in this format. Chunks down like absolutely nobody's business. So now Flutter Mane comes in, and it's kind of an awkward spot, but I know I can take care of this King Gambit if I just close combat it. So I terastallize something in. It was a Ghost King Gambit, which, I mean, it makes sense. Turning a quad weakness into an immunity is a fantastic idea. They Power Gem Tyranitar, which is a lot of damage, but my Tyranitar, she's got bulk, so she lives it, is able to fire off a Rock Slide. It's a lot of damage onto that Flutter Mane. So now, well, yeah, Iron Head does go off. Brings I can rock down to Sash, but honestly, if this thing has 1 HP or 100 HP, it's so frail it doesn't matter. They protect the Flutter Mane as I go for a Rock Slide, and I actually went for Assurance onto the King Gambit. Really hoping that that'd be able to take it off or take it out before, you know, it gets any more attacks off. So decent chip, gets it down to about halfway, and Assurance and picks the KO. So that's one less Pokemon I have to fear. So now we know they have the Palafin in the back as well as this Flutter Mane here. And my Tyranitar actually faints to, I don't know if it was Life Orb or Sand Chip or both. I think it was the Sand Chip, not that it matters. So now I send to my own King Gambit as they have their Palafin here. So I can't Sucker Punch this thing if it goes for Jet Punch. So it goes for Jet Punch, Lycanroc faints. I couldn't have done anything about that at all. And I have to attack this Flutter Mane. So I Sucker Punch the Flutter Mane and pick up the knockout on that. So now it's just a 1v1. This match is getting pretty close towards the end. Oh, you know what? I may have forgotten that I had the Arcanine still. So I have the Mon lead here. I go for the extreme speed because we all know I'm not living a Jet Punch. Yeah, spoiler alert. It's back to actually being 1v1 now. Arcanine's kind of nice to be able to get that Intimidate off, but Poison Jab. I figured Poison Jab would be better than Sucker Punch because it's gonna go for the whatchamacallit, Jet Punch. But I called this close combat correctly, and it barely lives, and then I also barely live. Unfortunately, I can't Sucker Punch the Jet Punch, so I lose this by inches. But the next time that I'm facing down such a threatening Water-type Pokemon, I'm bringing Gastrodon without a doubt. Sometimes I think that having it in Team Preview is enough to scare away the Water-type. On to the final match of this episode here, so if you've made it this far, please like the video, and let me know if there's any other kind of challenges you want to see me try. I've got at least 2 more of these coming out. They're going to be weekly by the time this one's uploaded. The 2 are going to be ready to go, scheduled to go live, so if you subscribe, you'll get notifications. That's right, I'm doing that. Thank you very much, and let's see if we can end this episode off with a good note. So my opponent with this off-meta team, really off-meta, I'm a fan of anything that looks weird on Team Preview. They lead Inteleon and Grimmsnarl, so I didn't really know what they were going for. I was really hoping to see the Annihilate lead, try and Bulldoze Terra Blast that, but I decided to just go for the Flying Terra, go for Bulldoze Terra Blast, but I get faked out. I was really hoping that it was going to be like a screen Grimmsnarl, but that's okay. Since I terastallized, I kind of take that snapshot like a beast. Terra Blast into the Inteleon because that definitely felt like a more threatening Pokemon here. Does not one-shot it because it looks like they are sashed. They are not sashed. It looked like they were, but Sandstorm does get the KO, so that's awesome. And then there was the Annihilate that I wanted to Bulldoze and Terra Blast. So didn't get it last turn, but totally guaranteed it this turn because the Grimmsnarl cannot fake me on this turn. Does activate their Defiant, so they are now +2, but +2 attack does you absolutely no good when you are fainted. So next time you want to take out a Pokemon that's +2 attack, just faint it. That's how you get rid. So Grimmsnarl here doesn't attack yet. They actually go for Play Rough and finish off my Tyranitar, but I think taking out 2 Mons for the price of 1 and a Terra, I guess that's not a bad trade. Not a bad trade. So I'm able to send in my King Gambit, who can now just kind of threaten an Iron Head into the Grimmsnarl there. And they send in Pyrax, which is, I guess, the Volcarona. I didn't really want my King Gambit to just get Fiery Dance to the face, so I figured I'd send in Arcanine. That way I can kind of intimidate the Grimmsnarl as well as threaten the Volcarona with any other rock-type moves in the event. I don't know if I missed this rock slide coming out. They taunt. I don't really know what they thought my... Actually, that was a weird play. Thinking back at it now, rock slide picks up the KO on the Volcarona easy, but why would they taunt a dark type? What were they expecting me to go? What were they expecting to switch in? Maybe Gastrodon? Either way, I had two faster Pokemon here that can just rock slide this Grimmsnarl. So my opponent forfeits, and we end the video off on a win. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.